Ever since I was a little kid, like I've always been interested in everything outdoors. Dad used to always take time off of work and take me hunting, fishing, and it's always kind of like, it's always stuck with me. And so finally, like going through high school, I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to do something outdoors. So then I was told about this program, and so I came here.
I'm kind of the same way. It's just everything involved either hunting or being outdoors or fishing or something. That's when my parents pushed for me to go do something I love to do already, and might as well go find a place like this and come and do it.
So my name is Rocky Robinson. I'm an instructor of the Wildlife Outfitting Operations program here at Pratt Community College. We're basically the only two-year degree program of its kind. Basically, we cater towards those who want to go into the hunting and fishing industry. We have a lot of people interested in becoming hunting and fishing guides that come in, but it's more than that, really. We work fairly closely with Wildlife and Parks, whose headquarters are here in Pratt. So when they come in, students get certified hunter ed instructors. They get to know some of the people at Wildlife and Parks. We work with some of the ranges around. So it's more than just hunting and fishing guides, and there's more opportunities available for those who just want to be hunting and fishing guides. A lot of kids that come in want to be game wardens or work for the DNR or USDA or stuff like that. And what we try to create is a good foundation for them to start off. So they can go 2 years here, get a lot of their gen eds out of the way, take some classes that they'll hopefully really enjoy, and then set them up for that 4-year degree that they're going to need if they're going to be a game warden or work for the state or federal government in those wildlife positions. Like some of the classes I teach here are deer management. We learn to score and age deer. We learn herd management, and then we do learn some of the guiding techniques and tactics that they would use. Because I would say about half of the students that come in are interested in being hunting and fishing guides. And we do that for basically all the main species that you're going to be guiding, especially in the Midwest. Turkey, waterfowl, our upland game birds, pheasant and quail. We both do trying to wild birds and pen-raised birds, how to set up guiding businesses for those. But before that, we do have some classroom time. We sit down and learn biology, the conservation behind that, and why we have those opportunities, those hunting and fishing opportunities that we do. So for those who are looking to be guides, most of our guides run down Associate of General Studies. So you get your associate's degree in General Studies and Wildlife Outfitting Operations. 2-year degree, the requirements are a little bit different. Those who are looking to go on, usually those who are looking to be game wardens or work for the DNR or work for Wildlife and Parks in some aspect, you need a 4-year degree for a lot of that. So we run those down. Our Associate of Science degree, which is more science heavy, which is what they're going to have to take when they go on. So we get a lot of those gen eds out of the way while they get to take some of my classes that they enjoy. They get their associate's degree, and then they can go on and I help them transfer, and we look at other colleges together, sitting down in their sophomore year. And then while you're here, you get, we have some certifications that you get while you're here, so you become certified in hunter ed instructor. Next semester, they'll go through, they'll become certified range safety officers, which you would need if you want to work at trapper, skeet ranges, or a gun range. And then you get your concealed carry while you go through here. Having those certifications are important. For one, just looking at a resume, even if they're not going to use it, when you sit down and look at a resume and they're a certified hunter ed instructor, well, most of the people that take hunter ed are 11, 12, 13. So if they can sit down and they can teach other kids how to do it, why shouldn't I trust them enough to hire them? So, and you know, it shows that they completed something. Certified range safety officer, we have students that's what they do now, is they're range safety officers. So there are job opportunities available for that. It looks good on a resume. And then concealed carry is just something we pick up. So just a lot of students are interested in it and they get to learn some things and they just kind of pick it up along the way. For my classes that I encourage them to take, a lot of them, waterfowl management is kind of that freshman class that most people take. Hunter education instructor training, where you get certified to be a hunter education instructor, and then we all host a course together. I'm not expecting them to teach 11 hours class by themselves. So I run the main course and then they teach breakout sections and interact with people taking hunter education. Most of my classes are in the spring, but I do wildlife business basics. Some freshmen usually take that, but I try to save that for more of the sophomores because we go over resumes, cover letters, things like that to try to get them employed. So there's that, and then our management courses are basically it. Bow hunter, I teach a bow tech course where we do a lot. It's not as much like learning how to shoot, but it's learning how to work on bows. So we learn everything top to bottom on a bow, and then they're in charge of putting new strings on bows, serving in peep sights, tuning bows, things like that. That it's just good information for them to know, and there's actually job opportunities available for bow techs. A lot of second year, so deer management is our big second year course that starts off in the fall. So we have a client set up now that they're in charge of guiding. Last year we planted some food plots with that class, so we'll be guiding over the food plot. They're getting everything ready for that right now. Our business basics course for those who are starting to think about other colleges or going straight into the workforce. So we're going over resumes. A lot of times I start getting, kind of towards the middle of the year, I'll start getting job postings and putting them up on the board. And I'm trying to hook the sophomores up with any guiding jobs that they're gonna want now. There's local guiding businesses around here that know the program. So I'm in communication with them. So sometimes I have people working while going to school. I focus a lot on that course on setting up a business. It's hard to say, I mean, you're 18 and 20 years old, so it's gonna be hard to say. When a lot of students get here, they get a $1,000 tip and then they go spend that $1,000 tip, on hunting gear and stuff like that. So I tell them, I try to help them in the process of setting up a business, forming their own LLC. So that stuff, when they do go buy that stuff that they're inevitably gonna buy anyway, because they probably can't budget because young people can't budget very well, most young people, that they're at least getting tax write-offs for it, some things like that. And in here, you get a break. When you become a certified hunter ed instructor, you get discounts on sporting goods. Cabela's used to give a discount. Guide Fitter gives discounts for hunter ed instructors and things like that. So I try to help them as much as I can, like figure out budgets, but it's per student. Yeah, so if you end up coming here, I would also be your advisor, so you would see me during the day as a teacher, then you'd get to see me again once it's time to enroll. And I sit down with each student one-on-one. We look at what they're gonna do. I try to get a good grasp on what everybody wants to do, and then try to cater. I teach each student a little bit differently based on what they want to do. Because those who want to be guides, I try to set them up on get them more guiding experience. Those who want to work for, wildlife and parks, we try to cater to that. We work pretty close with wildlife and parks. So I'll sit down with you, talk to you, figure that out, enroll you in the appropriate classes. And, it's one of those things where they always have my number. I'm always available. They can just reach me whenever. Guiding can be a little bit tricky because if you're just a guide, you're working 4 to 5 months out of the year. So what I recommend a lot of my students to do is we work very close with the ag department because a lot of them are going to be involved in the ag world anyway if they become hunting and fishing guides. Those guides, they make a lot of money for those 4 or 5 months, but we got to be able to budget our money and plan that out and make that sustainable. And then find something to do during that off season. A lot of them, working in agriculture. And there are things you can do. You can travel around. We have a student who wants to go do some hunts overseas, wants to go guide in Africa. If you space those out, you can make a full-time job out of it. And then you're making, $40,000, $50,000 pretty easy. That's without tips. So it's very volatile. I mean, if you're running clients, right now with COVID, it's taken a little bit of a hit, but you're running waterfowl clients, you're getting $300 to $600 a day per client. So you multiply that out. And in my business basics course, we go over that. We talk about how to obtain those clients, how to try to get clients, repeat clients, and basically start your business for those who are interested in starting their own business. Because you're not just going to start out being owning your own guide company. You're going to start out probably guiding hunts for somebody else making $40,000 a year before you become that that next tier where you're making $100,000 running 25 deer hunters at $5,000 a hunter, $6,000 a hunter, and just making that during that season. So it's a wide variety. If you're working for game wardens, $50,000, $60,000, depending on how long they've been in it. There's a lot of things you can do out here. We have a student who graduated from here who's now the lead range safety officer here in town at Shooter's Corner. So, it's hard to say, narrow it down like our graduates are going to make this much, because they do a lot of different things when they leave here. We work really closely with ag in the classroom and hands-on experience. Barrett is the other ag instructor, and him and I take our students out together. When we plant the food plots, it's good for the ag kids because we still learning seeding rates. We're still learning what these specific crops do for our nitrogen levels, our phosphorus levels. We take samples, we crush them up, we send them to the lab, and seeing what that's going to do for livestock and wildlife. And we're learning how to run equipment. We stick kids on tractors all the time and basically farm work. So a lot of them come in knowing how to do farm work, but if they come in and they don't, we have half know, half don't, and then we get together and, all right, let's learn. So we sit down, we teach them how to do what would go on in a typical farm, because farming and guiding go hand in hand very closely. A lot of the ground that they're going to be using is private ground to guide and hunt on. A lot of that ground is owned by farmers, and it's managed for farm work. So it's a natural cohesion between the two. A lot of the stuff is hands-on here, actually. I try to start it off where we sit down, we learn something, and then we go out and actually do that thing. So I incorporated a lot I figure out my sophomore class, and then they work through. So then I have my sophomores help me help the freshmen. So like what's going on this year is I have a waterfowl management course. I have 6 clients coming in that the freshmen are guiding, so they're in charge of guiding those. So before that, we sit down, we learned rules and regulations, biology, kind of learned what we're going to do, how it's going to go down, and then our sophomores guide our freshman class on a hunt. That is exactly how it should go when they guide the next group of clients. So then that way they're like, the freshmen get to shoot some birds, that's exciting for them, but they're also seeing how the sophomores are setting out their spread. They're tagging the birds, making sure everybody has their own pile of birds. So that way we're not mixing birds, we're not breaking laws. They're making sure they're not shooting anything they're not supposed to, and how they interact with the clients. So then you groom the next freshman up, and then the freshmen will help the next year sophomores help the freshmen next year. So. For the one, there's not a 2-year program like this anywhere around. So if you're looking to go into guiding and want to make a career out of it, come get a degree of some sort. Getting a degree in anything will help you. And then go on, you can learn some things that you're not familiar with. A lot of people come in and they have a lot of experience deer hunting, but not a lot of experience waterfowl, or vice versa. So you pick up some of the things that you might not be as good at. And it's just, this group is, I would say we have the closest group on campus. This group's very, very tight-knit. When they're not in class here, they're sitting in a duck blind together, they're out deer hunting together. Just that camaraderie of everybody knowing everybody. We're very, very tight-knit, and it shows. When somebody needs something in the program, everybody goes out to help that person. So even just like last night, we had a kid who's he's never shot a deer before, so we set him up. I set him up with a crossbow. That's the programs. We got it sighted in and everything. Helped him work with that. One of our students, Kendall, helped him a lot with that. Took him out most evenings. They shot a deer last night. I went out. We helped him look for it this morning for class. Class was everybody's going out, and then we're grid searching, helping him look for his deer. So it's. Even if I wouldn't have made them go out and help look for they all would have went anyway. That's just how how tight-knit this group is. They talked a lot about us actually going out and doing stuff, which yes, we do a lot out here. We do a lot at the school property because the school owns about 240 acres that we manage part of it for wildlife. But I don't want people to come here and think it's just going to be hunting and fishing all the time, because we're learning to make a business out of it. That's my goal, is when you leave here, you can make a business out of it. You can get paid to do the thing that you love, which is, I'm guessing, why you're here. So that's just my goal.
Yeah, for the most part, yes. Like we've taken a business basics class, which helps you kind of like learn to manage your money and figure out how to do all that stuff in opening a business. It's gonna be a little bit touch and go on that when I first start out, but once you get to going a little bit better, like in figuring it out, and you can figure out how to spend your money and manage it a lot better and all that. Hello, I'm Kendall Bates. I am a sophomore here at Pratt CC in the Wildlife and Outfitting Program, and I'm originally from Eureka, Kansas.
Hi, my name is Caleb Pink. I am originally from Eskridge, Kansas. I'm currently a sophomore studying in the Wildlife Outfitting and Operations course also.
Deer management. What we're learning right now is diseases like CWD, which is chronic wasting disease. I'm sure we'll go over like EHD, blue tongue, and a bunch of other different deer diseases that could affect your deer population and how stuff is being managed.
Another thing we've talked about is, along with the aging deer, is the aging deer by the jawbones, and body size and body structure. We learned that most deer reach skeleton maturity at 3.5, then muscle maturity at 4.5. We've been duck hunting, we've been dove hunting, what's some of the other ones?
We've been pheasant hunting, we've done trapping. I think my favorite thing so far has probably been trapping. It was a lot of fun. Getting up early every morning for a couple weeks was kind of not very fun, but overall it was fun, and like that's something I'm like starting to do and get into. So
one of the things I like about Pratt Community College is we're a small little school. Everybody in the WOO program knows each other. We go out hunting with each other once we get to know each other. We get to go do all kinds of fun trips with each other. It's just a small little community. We get just fun little time with everybody.